Alright, sorry about that. I don't know if I'll join these together or whether they'll just be uploaded separately as we introduce the channel. Probably the latter. I'll resume here. So you're in a field of abundance and you know that you can harness power from a source that you have already have defined. And that source is able to radiate out different things that are in accordance with this true self in the material world. But you are still going through a great transition. And you're still standing on only one of those stones, which could be considering the fact that you're only observing one of those things, and this would could still be considered the ground. Your grounds are always flipped. So you're not necessarily walking on the abundance here, but you see you have a lot in terms of your background, in terms of the waters that you walk on. It's pretty free in both considerations. But generally speaking, that free flowing energy is moved with this great transition. Move on here to the Seven of Voices, which means this is a place you want to highlight. Seven being a good place. And you see, of course, we still have the duality aspect as we see present in most of these cards. And the Page of Emotions upside down there. So you see the darkness and then you see the color light. But the darkness isn't necessarily the darkness, it just radiates a part of you that has a depth of field that reflects something a little bit more prehistoric. While that new version of yourself may be welcoming you to cross that bridge that takes you to a more advanced state of being. But here you are, you sit in between watching that old self as the sun, and all things that are to follow you must come from your view or choose to look at yourself as the new self that radiates, and as you see the old self which has died. The Voices card, as you see as well, reflects that this is the self that was screaming, and this is the self that is reflected calmly. As you see, those pinnacles have now turned into light, and those dry deserts have turned into fresh new land. But never forget that you screamed, and never forget that you had come from the desert, and that things were archaic in some sense before you were found in the land of abundance. I'd like to move forward here with the Page of Emotions. Let's give this card an examination. You see that the card is flipped upside down, and I won't upright it. You see, similar to the last picture, these two portals within inside the womb. This Page of Emotions card reflects the sacral chakra. You see the heart chakra here is also being reflected as a gold center point, which is not necessarily aligned in either direction, but seems to be pretty attractive for the fish as a place of food. So your heart chakra may have been eaten, or a place of amusement, or maybe a place of attraction, similar to the things that come from the sacral chakra, because you may have had an abundant sacral chakra, or because you may know how to control this area and produce growth. People may seek your heart. And but this page was flipped upside down. It's important to note that you in the emotional field that will reflect the reality that this is the truth, that if we were to write this card, you would then see the abundance and the free flowingness and the fact that this character is actually pretty happy to provide so much growth to this economy or this ecosystem that feeds off our heart and nest itself in its inner sacral chakras. So, with this card being flipped as it was, what that means is that this is a message for you to allow yourself to feed and nurture this place, opening up this heart and allowing it to be a place where people can read and come into and see and escape and be joyful to visit an attraction of some sort as the thing that propels you forward, makes you happy in some sense. You see, you're the octopus. We can count the legs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 legs on this. I think that'd be 7 if you regard that as a background. But it looks like she's wearing a skirt of some sort. But anyway, man, those are your 7 cards, those 5 cards here. So I don't want to get too deep into that. But that's a breakdown on the energies that you may be feeling, and I hope that you guys are able to resonate, because I can truly resonate with these emotions. I got a 1 card pull from